let's just put you on my little overhead camera filming equipment, and let's get into it. Hopefully you're bright enough because I have my window open. It's a dull day here in Scotland. I wanted to add some gold to this, so I am thinking, let me see, I'm just gonna put my other camera on as well. I wanted to record this for a later session as well, so there, I've done that. So yeah, where was I? I am going to try and put some gold on this somewhere, and I'm trying to think where I want to do that on this piece. Like, I could just make a haphazard decision on this. Let me see, one of this is the varnish, so that's the varnish. So I'm going to use some of this medium, which is for the gold. So should I use that? And I'm going to use this brush. So I've hardly used my actual gold leaves that I have, and I wanted to start trying to implement that again. So I thought maybe I should start with working on some smaller pieces first. Then I can see how that goes with other bigger pieces. But this is what I do. I like to get myself used to things on a smaller scale and then try them again if I like the outcome, basically. So I'm just adding some of this medium, and then I'll leave it to dry. So I've got to time that for 20 minutes roughly to let it get tacky, and then I will add that. I'll add the gold leaf. So I'm gonna put, so I'm just looking for areas I want to add the gold leaf. I've been really hesitant to use a lot of my mediums recently that I have, and I'm trying to break out of that. So like this area, maybe some of that gold could go there. Just see what else I've added it to. Maybe on the edges of some of these, if I just drag it. A bit of gold in that. I'm trying to think of what it will look like with some gold on it. But then something interesting as well. So this will dry and I'll get back into what I have been painting. So if this is your first time here, my name is Beatrice Ajayi. I'm an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland, and I like to share my art process here on my YouTube channel. And I've been trying to go live a lot more recently. I just want to try it out. I'm just interested to see where this can go. So I'm basically just drawing, you know, different shapes and things here with the glue, and we'll see what this gold looks like. But I want to carry the gold somewhere else as well. Don't just want to have it there. I would like to have the gold maybe this purple area here a little bit. So trying to think what kind of pattern or design I could do. You could do dots, you can do a whole range of things. And I want it to be interesting. And one more bit, just a splotch there, I think. Okay, that'll be enough. Let's see what happens when this dries. So I'm gonna have, so by the time my clock is saying 24 extra, like 20 extra minutes on this, so it'll be about 24 minutes from now is what it will say on my screen, because it's 4 minutes in already. Just gonna rinse that brush off and let that start to get tacky. And the thing is, actually, that is a painting that I created on my last vlog on my YouTube channel. So if you want to check out how I got to that stage, feel free to go ahead and check it out. So now I'm going to start doing something similar on these pieces here. Just adding extra layers to them, really. I'm trying to think what brush I want to use to start implementing that. So I'll just put out some more paint. I like using my saturated glow colors, but I like to mix them in with some other elements as well, other mediums as well. So I've got some flow acrylic here, and I'm trying to think if I want to go more neutral or if I want to go very saturated like the last one. You can always pull it back. I'm also remembering that I didn't use my blue as much as I would have liked to in that one. But here, so what I've been doing is, like around my butterflies, I tend to make them quite dark underneath this part here. So this is a flow acrylic. This is dioxazine, I think it is purple. So I'm going to put a little bit of it here if it comes out. Might have sealed itself over. My fingers are going to get dirty. So just put a little on it and start moving that around with my brush. And then I carry the color around to different areas. So I've just been inspired in my mind to possibly put some in the eye so I don't waste it. But this is a transparent paint as well. So it's just layering everything, making things darker slowly, and carrying the color across to other areas. So here I wanted to make some of this area a bit darker, carry some over the butterfly. Just raise my wrist a bit like this to get some of the free flow. So if I think that that is not dark enough, I'll come in and add another color again. So it's like cools to warm, cools and warm. That's what I've been doing. So let me add some, let me put this on my palette instead of straight on, which is very risky. But I'll put it on my palette and then get into this flower I have here. So I also have some open acrylics, different mediums, different ways you can use them. Open acrylics I got because I wanted to be able to use them almost like oil paints, but they do still take like maybe a day, depending how thick you make them, to dry. But here I also wanted to be able to use some oil paint on this. And I'm not overthinking what I'm doing. I'm just going, ooh, I could use that color there, I could use that color there, and then I'm just going for it. So I'm layering my colors. And it quickly just transforms as you do all that. And adding some to the wings here. So just using my transparent color to mix in and kind of add some different tonal areas. Kind of also thinking about value while I'm doing this. It's like some areas are supposed to be darker. I think with the transparent, what I'm finding is it's allowing me to be a bit more gentle in how I introduce color to areas. I am still being slightly impatient though, I know that. But it has given me a different way to think about how I'm using my colors. So there's supposed to be dark areas and light areas. I'm going to go into this pink and start adding it into places. And near this purple that I had before, so that blue. And that blue is, I think it's a phthalo blue, a green shade, flow acrylic. So I'm bringing some of that kind of a mix into this. Into the eye again. Into the flower. And it's just layering. So I had gone over this with some of my transparent, let's see, transparent red oxide acrylic and some of my bright orange before. So that's what I'd gone over, like the drawing I'd done. And so those are the colors that were on this beforehand. So sometimes as well, when I'm doing this, I will spritz some water on it so that I can get some drips as well. So I'm gonna get some drips over here. So I'll spray it like this. And then, but also you can get this with inks as well. And then let's see, it's dripping down. You see it when I turn it back around. It's going over the eye. Just tap it a little bit. So it's changed a little bit. Let me see. You can see the drips on that. So I'm going to let this one dry and get on with another one. And this is why it's good to work in a series or in a batch, because you can build your layers with your paintings. So what other color could I use? That was very purpley. I could start with like my red here, I can never say this, quinacridone. That's it, red. So instead of what I did with the purple, I'm going to do this with the red. So I like to play around with my colors. So I've just put that on. I'm going to wash off my brush and come back in and start moving this color around. Let's take some off the bottle there. So I really liked the way this eye was, that I painted it. So well, all these colors are not the usual colors that you would be using on this, but that's fine by me. I like to mix and layer my colors. So this could be underneath whatever is left at the end. I don't mind. So there I've added another layer of colors, mixing around this butterfly I have here. Adding some of the color to the wings. I have this flower here as well. So I've gone around. What the point of this painting series is, actually, I should mention, is that I wanted to practice my eyes. And one of the ways I do my art process is, if I want to focus on a particular area of interest, I will create a series and focus on that specific area. And so I wanted to create some artworks that were primarily focused on that. And that's what you're seeing here. So in that process, I am experimenting with color, with layering, and also, so how I might do things in the future. So I'm using some of that bright pink, fluorescent pink straight in now because I like the red. And this is what happens. It's like trying to stick with colors that are similar. This is something else I've been trying to do as well. So when you add that pink in, the initial area is to carry it around the whole surface. So and play around with that. So I'm trying not to leave my brush on the surface too long. I want it to move around. And also, another part of this is that I want it to be loose. So I'm going to add some of this phthalo blue in now to get some more variety in the value, to emphasize specific areas as well. And unless you actually just go with what's in your head, you don't know how it's going to turn out. So, and as always, I always just think, well, I could always cover it. But as long as I carry the paint around, that is my main criteria is that. And also you just end up finding out things about how you hold your brush, and you just naturally find that out. So when you're doing it, you're trying to do certain marks, you know how to place your hands, moving it around. And I'm going to spritz some water up here again to get another drip session going. But yeah, it's just going to be layering all these pieces because I have them in a series, so it's easy enough to do that as well. So let's see if this drips. Sometimes I'll just draw with the ink on it and then drip it. So it's a little drip. And there's so many different tools to use here. It's endless. So let's see how much drip I get out of this. So let me see if I can show you that. Oops. So that's the drip that's gone over that. So I was saying, if you've just joined me, I am an artist based in Glasgow in Scotland. My name is Beatrice Ajayi. And the weather, unfortunately, is very dark today. I'm thinking if I want to turn on one of my lights at the back, but I don't know if that will cause a shadow. So I was trying to stick with the natural light. So let me just check it again. Right. I feel like it's as bright as I'm going to get it. I don't want to have a cast over with the light behind me. So I'm going to go on to this one. This is the next one that I'm doing. Same process again. And adding that blue in there. So that is a phthalo blue with the green shade for that phthalo blue. And then I'll go into the eye just to bring it out. So working in a series and being able to not think too much about what you're doing. You just keep working on it. And eventually I will get to like this stage, but I'm about to add some gold leaf onto this. I'm just letting the glue settle on it. And then I will add some of the gold leaf and see what happens there. So as I said, I wanted to paint some eyes because I want to practice my eyes, but then I am putting it into a situation where it is not the focus, like there's not more work to do. If I had the whole face to do, that would take away my focus from what I could be doing with the eye. So that's why I started this series to just to focus on only the eye and make that the prominent feature. So then I would be looking at how I enhance it and the particular elements that make the eye unique. So that is why I created this series, so that I can work on that and have that as the prominent feature. It's really interesting because a lot of people in general will just think, you know, if you have an eye, you need to have a face with it. But there are sometimes reasons why we do things in our creative process. I studied conceptual art, and a lot of the time, or let's say the whole time, to be honest, the focus is the thinking behind the art. It's what is behind the narrative, the story. It's not necessarily what you see. So it can get confusing for people when they see art and they think it should be a specific way, but there's a process and there's a reason sometimes for why we are doing what we're doing. And it's because we are trying to deal with a question that we have. And then through that process of questioning, you get the range of results that you get, basically. So I am just looking at the different areas. I want to be able to carry the conversation from one end to the other and make the painting connect from one end to the other. So that is what I'm doing right now. So I want to bring in another color. I've got my pink here that I brought in before. So working in series, you can use similar colors across the whole canvas on all of them, and I am basically having similar colors mix as I'm working on this and looking at where to put them so that I can carry the conversation across as well. I'm trying not to spend too much time on areas, and usually actually I would have added probably some white to this by now, but I have the piece I'm going to be doing with the gold leaf is actually resting on that, and I didn't want to take it off. I just want to leave it there. So that has restricted me from doing my usual dip into the white paint, which is good because that would bring about an opaque result. And this is currently a transparent, well, mostly transparent. Actually, this fluorescent ones are not transparent, I've just remembered. So that conversation became void right there. But usually I would use the white and change the colors on this, but I'm sticking with some darker colors at the moment. Then by the time I add the white, that's going to add another layer of more translucent, more, what's the word, highlights, I should say. So yeah, I'm going to go into the next one so I don't overdo this one as well. I'll let this dry, or start drying anyway, and go on to this one. So I'll just put that in the water to rest for a minute. I've not used the green, phthalo green itself specifically. This green bottle has given me problems since I got it. So I'm having to be very careful how I use that. So let's see. Going into the eye. Same process, I go for the butterfly just because I want a dark ink result around the butterfly. So the green is not as dark as the blue. So I'll dip back into the blue. And this brush, the bristles are separating so much. It's good for, excuse me, it's good for the eyelashes, but to use it for lines is, it's a bit rugged. So I'm just gonna add some more blue. Let's see, my palette. And keep working. So I have some flowers in here as well. I'm gonna go in and start putting those outlines and the shadows in as well. It's currently raining outside where I am, so it is a lot darker than I'd like it to be. So eyes were one thing I wanted to deal with. Also, flowers as well. So I have some flowers in here. My butterflies, I actually want to be able to do those a lot more myself, but I spoke in my vlog that I still haven't got a full-on skill on doing that. I'd need to really just sit down and focus. I could do it, but I am rushing the process. And so in order to still have that, I am using collage for my butterflies. So that's what's going on. So as you can see, once again, I'm carrying it from one end of the canvas to the other, though these are art panels actually, but from one end to the other. So I'm going to let me get some drip in here, then I'll get into my gold leaf because I want to try that. So let me just make sure I use up some of these before they start drying out. And moving my brush around. I want to drip, drip. So I want to add all of them to have similar things going on. Then I'll be able to kind of read it like a kind of a code. That I could see my process was deliberate and I wanted to try a specific thing. And then you just have a sample of all the different things you did with your different tools. So yeah, I'll leave that to the side to dry. I'm just cleaning this for my spritzing. And bring this back. And I want to use some of the gold leaf. Now with this gold leaf I have, I am hoping that because I have silver, I have so many different ones. I might have finished my gold one though. So I'm just gonna ride through this. Ooh, this copper. But I feel like I want to use copper, not gold. I really feel I want to use copper. Oh yeah, I do have gold as well. Silver. Unless I've used a lot of the copper. You know what? Let's try gold because that's what I'm seeing. But I feel like copper would go so well with that. But I will go with the gold. See if I can get it out of here. Now, this is why I don't use my gold leaves that much because it's so messy and I'm so scared of the messiness. So, let's see what happens. So I have some over here. So I'm gonna put some. Gonna rub this down on this as much as I can. And then pick this up. Then I have some area here. Ooh, it's touching it already. So it's supposed to have made it tacky. So I don't know if this is in the view. So I put some gold earlier in this session on this, and I'm really scared how this is going to come out. So I'm going to take whatever extra off. The thing is, I don't want it making a mess. This is the thing. I love this idea of using gold leaf, but it's the mess. So I'll probably like brush it off into my little container here. I'm currently using my guest room as my studio. I usually have my garage studio, but it is a lot colder at the moment, and I really don't want to be hoovering these out of my carpet. But I'm gonna have to use my brush to get that out. Let's see what brush I have here that I can use for that. Wow, I'm really not looking after my brushes these days. So making sure that I've pressed it down, and then it's going to be brush removal time. So let's see, it was kind of not a tiger pattern, but something similar. I feel like I'm being extra rough with this, and this is not going over my little container, so or whatever. I'll use like a wet cloth to clean it off. But you can kind of see a pattern there. I just want to make sure I get all of it off because there was gaps in some bits, but it was the brush, if it wasn't that delicate, could cause this. So yeah, that looks very specific. I got enough of a detail out of that bit. Let's do this one. How much detail did I do on this? This brush is not bad actually for scraping them off. So the areas where the glue was are the areas that are still staying on, and wow, it's really holding on. It's not joking. In the past, when I've done this, I think I was putting the gold leaf on too soon. But I've learned since then that you have to give it at least about 20-30 minutes before you put, right, let's see, I need to get this off my desk. Oh, it's so messy. How am I gonna do this? I've seen people just hoover it straight off, but that is not what's gonna happen here. So let's see. Oh, I could spritz first. That's an idea. Oh no, not a good idea. Not a good idea. So I'm gonna use a wet tissue and take this off and put it in my bin. Right, that's what we're gonna do. Okay, and I'm gonna close this tin because so yeah, let's put this back. And yeah, I like the way that looks, the gold on it. So it's to keep on trying different ways of doing this. The more I use it, the more I will understand what I want to do with it. So that's added another layer onto the painting. And then also, if I want to bring out this butterfly, I can work on that next. So it's building the layers. I'm really enjoying it actually. The butterfly, so I did this butterfly and I'm not sure if I like the way it's come out. So I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat. And this is what happens with collage. You can do what you want. You can do what you want. basically. So I have a collage book I bought with butterflies on it, and you can cut them out and put on new butterflies if I want. And that's why I love to use different mediums, because trying to think where I'll go with this, because then you can actually do so many different things with collage. There's so many different butterflies here. This is not fair. I have no idea what I'm gonna use. So just check this a minute. Let me just look at this. So I want to cover that butterfly back. So let's see. This goes a bit more with the gold that's there already. And I'm planning to bring these flowers and things out, the eyes out still. But I'm really tempted by like this, like if I want to bring more warmth in. This feels too generic. I like the one with a little more, like this has got some purple in it. So I'm leaning towards this one. No. I like the spread. I keep coughing. I need to clear my throat. I never come up here with a drink. I need a drink every time. So now I need to figure out which one I want to use. I really do like this though. So it might be that I need to glue this down. So I'll just cut as close as I can to this. You can use actual gel modeling paste as well for the edges so that they're not so obvious. I think I might do that. So you'd be thinking that the gold leaf could be something that's towards the end, is decorative, but no, with mixed mediums, you can go back and forth in your process. You can obviously learn a way of creating a process where you do things at a specific time, but sometimes you're going to have to change your mind. So this is a change your mind moment. I really like that as well. Oh my goodness. You could have more than one as well, but this piece is a smaller piece, so that's not going to happen. So I have this gel medium that I want to use. Now I'm looking for one of my tools. This table is a mess. So this is the gel medium I have. And you can spritz the back of your paper. That helps with gluing it down. So you do under, over, under, or under, over, I should say. So you put it under the piece and over to seal it in. And while I'm doing that as well, I'm going to put some of the modeling paste because I want the edges to be a bit more blended. So I have some modeling paste here. I'm just going to put a little on the edges because this is not dry, clear necessarily as well. So you will lose some of your butterfly. I could have left some of the paper I had actually. So it's not as close. And you take your time. I am not taking my time. So, and so you can add texture with this. So that can technically, if you did that beforehand, you can then hide some of your details. Just going to use that up over there. That's why I like wearing my apron, because I can rub the stuff off on it. So yeah, I'm really happy about adding this gold leaf on this. That's really exciting, and it's I've got the varnish for it as well. So when everything's dry, I would go over this with the varnish as well, and to try and keep it. So this isn't like 24 karat gold or anything like that. This is just the ones that I bought online from Amazon. I might go in with some more of this brown and warm it up a bit. So what will happen is I need to let this dry, that area, and then I will just be going in to other areas. I'm going to make myself have access to my white, which I use my gesso as my white. And then I will maybe try and bring this out a little bit more, the one that we've already worked on, while I'm letting like all these ones dry a little bit more. So I really like the way they turn out. They're still drying, so once they're dry, I'll start working on them to this level. I will add some gold leaf to them as well, and then I will, yeah, just keep working on them till I finish, basically. So coming in, adding some more of this. Could add some more blue as well. I'm trying to be careful to think, what is it I want to add to this? I don't want to ruin some of the textures on it. I really just like the way it looks already. But it's to bring some areas in, like maybe consolidate it a bit more. So yeah, I think that was mainly that timeline I can show you of what I've been doing. And it's a lot of fun. You can use your fingers to take bits away that you don't want. Just little touches. Because this is a transparent brown as well, so it's warming those areas up as well. And so it is bringing those areas forward. I want to be able to use some oil paint, as said, on this as well. So once this dries, I'll see what I can add to it oil paint wise. But I really like the way that it's come out. So I'm trying to bring the focal point to the center with like adding this to the edges. Like making it cozy or something. Let me add some of the white I was talking about that I'm gonna use. Let me do that. Maybe in the whites of the eyes. Let's see. Let's just add in and add in. I think I need to add some more white. Layer after layer, and it will eventually you get more detail in it. And let's see. I would have liked this eye actually to be even wider, bigger, but that is not what I did here. So I don't want to push this too much and ruin what I already have. But I'm trying to think of what else I can carry around on this piece. Like, I really feel I would make this bit a bit darker, but you know what? I'm not going to touch it too much. There we go. So it's to wait for this area to dry, and I see what I do with that. As I said, I want to do some oil paint on it as well, so that is more to come as well that I'll be adding onto this. So let me just add some of this lighter pink to some areas. Another thing is this brush is very wet. I would like it to be a bit more, not as wet. And then I could scumble over this, but some orange as well. So yeah, this is basically what I'm going to be doing now for the rest of this time. I will let you guys go. I just wanted to share the process of what I've been getting up to in the studio. I'm glad that the gold leaf worked. That is like the main thing for me today. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. I'm just doing small variations in the paint here. I'm using some of the transparent red oxide as well. I'm trying to bolster this a little bit. Like if I do something, I'll have to put some dark back in. So I am going back and forth trying to see what I want to do with this flower. I want more petals in here, so that is what I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna keep going. I'll let you guys go. This will dry and then I'll work on it another time. But I really like the way that it's turned out. I'd like the eye to be a little bit brighter. I feel like I want to push into this area with the white a little bit. Like it's really, I want more eye, basically. I want more eye here. But then having more eye, is that gonna make that look weaker? Because this area to me now feels like the shape is a bit dulled down for the eye. So I need to come in with some of the purple. And make that a bit more dramatic. Let me see, where's the purple? Wow, it's just rushed out. That was another thing actually. I would have wanted some splashes in here. But how I would do that, oh my goodness, it would be scary. I'd want some splashes. I need to think about how I'd get that splash into this. That would be pretty cool. Where would I want some splashes? it's different elements that I want in my painting. So it's like, where should I put it? So little changes in there. Will make it more dramatic. And down here, I want the flower to stick up a little bit more. So let's see. And then I wanted some more of these. I think I closed off somewhere here. So yeah, there's going to be more going on. And some splashes. Where would I do splashes? I need to practice that off this. I don't want to do it on this right now. I like the way it looks. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm enjoying myself. And I'll see you guys next time. Let me just take this off and turn you around. So this is what I have been working on. This is a close-up of it. This is the modeling paste on the butterfly. When that dries, then I will work a little bit more on it. And the gold, so that's the reflection there. I'm not sure if I should have used the copper, but that's what I've done on this one. So what I can do is maybe try some copper next time on it instead of this one. So yeah, I will try that. But I love the way it looks. It's really interesting. Well, bye guys for now. So bye guys, and I'll see you in the next session here on my channel. But do check out my vlogs as well, because then you can see how I got here with this artwork. And I love it so much. It looks so good. And I'm really enjoying working on it and the other ones. So I'll see you guys. Oof, keep covering the camera. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Bye bye.